Sometimes when you grow up, you don't quite realize how all the experiences you have shape who you become down the road. And it's been very interesting in this role to look back and think about how my views on diversity and inclusion have been shaped by my own experiences throughout my life. And I'd like to maybe call out two of those. One is being a first-generation student and the other being an immigrant. I, as you can tell, clearly have an accent, and I didn't move to the United States till I was just about 30 years old, and it took me a while to figure out that no matter how hard I tried to blend in, I will always stand out. And at some point in time that was very confusing. And then I realized, it's actually something interesting. It's a great way to sort of connect and actually start talking about diversity and inclusion. And one of the ways at a place like Emory in which it has really helped me is we're a global university. We have people from all over the world. It includes our faculty, students, and staff. It also has helped me understand, particularly in the last year or so, how difficult it has been as U.S. society is contemplating about what is the role of immigrants. And as we know, it's quite polarized. There are those who believe that without immigrants, the United States never would be what it would be, but that enough is enough and we need to stop immigration. And then there are people who see that and say, but we need to keep this going because this is why we are this incredible society that we are. That's why we have the impact in the world that we have. So you find yourself as an immigrant between those two groups and try to figure out, well, what does it mean for me? And especially for our students, it's been very difficult because these are people that came to the United States. They want to have a U.S. education. They believe that's the best education they can have, that it provides the best experience they can have to survive. But at the same time, they experience fear because you no longer know if you're welcome. Sometimes you don't want to acknowledge that you are an immigrant. At the same time, we have students who are not immigrants, but who look like immigrants or who sound like immigrants, who get very upset when people start labeling them as immigrants. So it has opened the door to really talk about what does diversity mean, what does inclusion mean. And what we've all realized, and we're very committed to addressing, is the notion that you can have all the diversity in the world, but it doesn't create a positive culture. And in order to have a positive culture, you must have a focus on inclusion so that everybody feels part of it, everybody feels respected. And I think it's that respect that's so important to people. Even if we don't understand the differences between the cultures, even if there are barriers, as long as there's respect and dignity, people are okay with it. So we have a lot of formal and informal activities to address that. I also noticed that it almost seems that the more diverse an institution gets, in my case, talking about Emory, the more diverse Emory gets, the more difficult inclusion in some way becomes, because people try to sometimes pull back in the groups that are inclusive and that are the groups that you align with the most. And other people will say, well, we're inclusive because you're here, so why do I need to do extra work to make you feel welcome? But all of those are wonderful lessons, and that's what universities like Emory stand for. So I do believe that because I am an immigrant, it really has helped me be a voice in that conversation and ask some of the questions that maybe I couldn't ask had it not been for the fact that I am an immigrant.